y'all. Come on. Oopsie. It all. Hi, y'all. Get this thing working here in a second. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. I had launched it and then I was sitting here and I was like, where is everybody?
Well, it kept asking me to sign in, and it was like, I just usually push the button and it takes me there.
Technology, there's always something, right?
Yep.
We'll give everybody a few minutes to get here. I am over here in the Tuileries, outside, of course, my favorite place. Hi, June. And of course, the sunset's in a few minutes. So I thought I'd start out here a little way so you can see the huge Ferris wheel. But then we'll make it through to the Louvre, and then we will go and see. I'm hoping we get to see the building all lit up in blue. I hope you guys all had a good New Year's Eve. Everybody in here.
So how did you celebrate?
It was very quiet in Paris.
Yeah.
I had, as soon as I got here, I had clients, 3 clients every day for 5 days. And they were staying in a fantastic room off of the Champs-Élysées, which New Year's Eve, party there got canceled. But I stopped by there to have a glass of champagne with them and check out the view, which was pretty fantastic. And then I raced over to my favorite place thinking I would get there and it'd be packed with people, and nobody was there. There's 2 people in there and that was it. So it was 2 people and Sylvain and I. And so then we kept going to the other side to hang out with all the guys over there. And we closed it before midnight, and then we went next door and it was just the staff and I having champagne for a few hours, which was very fun.
Yeah.
And actually good, because I was not thrilled to be there, thinking if it was Le Bon Comptoir, gets very, very crowded. It's a very small space. And I was kind of not thinking I was too excited about being in there if it was crowded with people with everything going on.
Right.
But selfishly, it kind of worked out for me. I felt really bad for them because it was very, not very good for them. So it was, business wise, but I was kind of happy that I wasn't surrounded by thousands of people. Well, I mean, okay, maybe more like 60. But we are out here. So the sun is setting and soon the lights should turn on over there. And it has been crazy, crazy warm here in Paris. It's been 60 degrees for like 3 days in a row. Today it was like 56, 57. And so it is kind of nuts how warm it has been. And of course I packed nothing but sweaters. So, and my wool coat, which for the second December in a row, well, not last year, the year before, I will probably not wear my heavy long wool jacket. So I'm thrilled to be lugging that thing back and forth. I think I'm gonna just leave it here with some friends. So we will start heading over there. So these are all of the little shrubs that come off the Place de la Carousel up there and the Arc de Triomphe Carousel. And they actually follow, you could kind of see how they kind of go out in these straight lines. They actually follow the little sunburst lines that come away from the carousel, because at one point it was a sundial, as there are like over 100 sundials in Paris on buildings and everywhere else. But inside these, there's 21 statues done by Aristide Maillot, and they kind of dot through here. They were donated to the city after he had died. And that's a really fantastic museum to go check out if you haven't seen it as well. The Maillot exhibit. They only do special exhibits. They have some of Maillot's pieces in it, but not very much. And so these gorgeous statues are all the way through here. This is the one. This one's called Pomme. Hi, Janet. So because she's holding 2 apples. But it goes back on both sides. And so you see how they kind of stay in the line of those lines that are coming off of here. They go all the way up. And over there, of course, you see the Eiffel Tower and the Musée d'Orsay. Oh, here's another statue. You do have to sometimes be careful where you go out here. And that area up there, kind of on the other side of this raised part, is not the place, shall I say, you want to take children through, because you might be in for a little surprise of, shall I say, some hijinks going on in there between gentlemen. I'll let you guys figure that out. But this is a really great, obviously you can see it's one place you could walk on the grass. I wasn't breaking any rules. I saw some friends yesterday. He went traipsing into the grass at the Luxembourg. I was like, no, you are not allowed to walk through the grass. There, I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted in my stories the other day. So that billboard that there is there on this side, that's pretty much right that way, where you see that red and the bright light past it. It's the Musée des Arts Décoratifs, which is a fantastic museum. This is the end of the Louvre here. Technically, it's all the same building, but they keep changing out this billboard, even back in the fall. And when last week they had it, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen, because if you follow me, you know how much I love Delacroix, and especially Liberty leading the people. And it was a photograph basically done behind. So it was a photo behind Liberty. And it was so cool. I took some pictures and I'll post them onto my feed so you could all see them. But I was really sad yesterday. I walked through here and it was already gone. They change it out all the time. So of course here we have the Arc de Triomphe Carousel, also created by Napoleon, who also did the big one. This is the only one we saw finished, but it does need some repair. It's got those beautiful pink granite columns. It's got like 5 different kinds of stone on this guy. Hi, Dawn and Carol. But it's really cool. And to do some repair, especially the little guys up at the top aren't doing well. So I think this year, next year, they're going to start fixing it up, which if you, I'll go down towards the obelisk. The obelisk is now, looks like it's getting shipped out. It's in a giant box because they are doing some restoration work on it. And so it's completely enclosed. It looks like all they have to do is put a label on it and send it someplace. But they're up until today. Yesterday, there were so many people. Make sure I'm getting you guys all in here. There's so many people in Paris. It was kind of crazy. I was in the Louvre, I think. No, yesterday. Absolute mayhem. But now we're starting to leave. People are, oh, it's Christy here. I see Janet's little comment. Hi, Christy. There was a protest of some sort because if it's the weekend in Paris, there's a protest. And okay, these lights better. The lights are starting to turn on. We're going to have to wait for the, there it is, just like magic. So most of the monuments in the city are all blue. And it is because France is now the head of the European Union. So they are flooding the buildings in blue, and we are going to see a few of them. Also, you have to wear your mask again outside in Paris, as you could tell. Some people just aren't really worrying about that. Get you guys in here. So not a lot of people even bother like her. If I am walking by myself and nobody's around me, I will pull mine down, but some people have them just under their chin. Some people don't bother at all. So go back here. If you, let's see, might be kind of cloudy. I don't know if we could, I always love to show people the access line. So when you come here, come to Paris, and see this fantastic Bernini Louis XIV that he actually hated. He brought Bernini from Italy to Paris because he wanted to design some of the Louvre, and he did plans, and then he ended up not liking his plans. So Bernini decided, I'm going to make him a statue. So he made him this statue, and Louis XIV didn't like it, so he stuck it in like the farthest corner possible of Versailles. And then he ended up having another artist redo it. And so when I.M.Pei did this area and put out of the pyramid, he added the Bernini Louis XIV here. So if you stand right behind him, you could look through. It's kind of, since it's getting darker, but you go look right through here and look from the Arc de Triomphe to Carousel to the obelisk, it's in a big box, to the Arc de Triomphe, and all the way out to La Défense, the Arc at La Défense. It's the grand access. And there's supposed to be actually a few of these. This was actually put in place by Lenotre, and which under Louis XIV. And then under Napoleon III, he was going to add more access, including the one that would go right in front of us, actually starts at the Opera and the Opera Garnier. And he wanted to go all the way to Boulevard Saint-Germain, but that did not work. So there's just the one access, but we'll go around and we'll get to see the building get bluer and bluer. I did just see earlier today that France put the US in the red category. So That means if you're not vaccinated, your chances aren't so great. They're lighting up the back part. This looks like the sides. I kept seeing them set up all these light trees everywhere, including Sacre Coeur the other day. Inside the zoo. Catherine, I hope you do make it. I think, you know, you never know with everything that's been going on. But I really don't think they want to go and close countries again, I'm hoping. So this used to be the entrance to the Louvre. So if Cheryl's here, Cheryl remembers my grandparents when they first came here, this is how they came in into the Pavillon Denot. And up there at the top, hi Cheryl, is the Salon Denot, which has the amazing ceiling. And then if you go up that way, you head right toward Wing Victory. And right straight down this backside is the Mona Lisa, of course. It used to be able to come in through this way. And then they had, because they were getting thousands of visitors, they had this built. So Mr. I.M. Pei, the amazing architect, lived to 102. I'm hoping, I should say, everybody will be okay by March to get here, because I know a lot of you are coming in March. If anything, we'll probably be onto a different variant. Let's hope not. I don't think we'll still be in this one. So here, these are kind of cool. So these dot all the way along the sides. And there's staircases that go down. And they're like emergency exits to get out of the building if something is to happen. They also use them sometimes to load stuff in. Tuesdays, it's always kind of fun to come here because it's closed. And if you're just walking around in here, sometimes you see trucks or movie crews, TV crews, whatever they're doing. Seeing these lights, little light trees. I don't think they're doing the back here, just the sides. But we'll go back out here. Let's look it out. Look at that. I don't know if you guys could hear those whistles. Who knows if we'll run into the protest. Hopefully, yes, it's open. Isn't she beautiful? Over there in the Pavillon Richelieu is where you would find the Medici cycle from Rubens. Got all the orangey lights are warming up. Every day we get another couple minutes of sunshine or light. But the other day, this last week, the lines to get into the Louvre. So now they have it changed because you have to have a ticket in advance, and they're time tickets, so they're on the half hours. And if you can see into the front left of the pyramid, there's a little white tent. There's one on either side. So one is on the 30, one is on the hour, and people were lined up all the way back to this corner and then back around to get in. But if you have, sometimes, depending on who's at the side, but if you go into the Pavillon Richelieu, which is straight across there, that is where you go if you're a member, or sometimes if you're coming in as a group. But sometimes, depending on who's there, they'll just let you in with your time ticket. There's one woman that's there that will not. So when I bring clients in, because I, as a member, they could usually go in with me unless I see her. Sometimes if I see her, I make them go to on the other side of me to where the nice guy is, and then I deal with the grouchy lady. But she's like, no. I'm like, since when? It's always, you could always come in the store. You never know. That's France. And this, which is the Pavillon de l'Orge and also the Pavillon de Sully. This is a Sully wing back here. This used to have all the way up on each floor here about the history of the Louvre. So right below us, right below that over there, is the medieval base of the Louvre that you could walk through that they discovered in 1980s when they were doing the pyramid. And then up each floor, like in the middle, right where that light is, those used to have, one was like the history of the museum, the history of the palace, and then the history of the collection. And they've been closed since August. And it's one of my favorite things here to go check out because they change out the stuff they have in there. I think every 6 months or so, but they're still closed up, which bums me out because I always love to go in there. Also, what's closed right now is the area right behind that area. That's the Anne of Austria summer apartments that usually have the Roman statues in it that are amazing. That's going to be closed up for probably a good year or two while they're redoing it. And sadly, those things don't get moved. They just are all hidden away. As you can see, everything's getting bluer. Not that blue, huh? I guess it looks a little bit, actually looks bluer on the camera than it does in person. But we have another one we're going to go find right now too. So we'll go through. Oh, there also was, not part of the protest, but about 2:30, a gang, a large gang of rollerbladers and rollerbladers and roller skaters cruising down the streets of Saint-Germain. Hundreds of them. Oh, there's some music. The acoustics in this area is always so good. So there's always musicians and singers in here. Oh. And for your light of the towers. So now we're back in the Cour Carré. Look at this. All lit up. Show you one of my special tricks. So this, the original medieval Louvre, basically was kind of in this back corner. It wasn't, I've seen some people say that they think it was the whole size of this, basically the cutout, but it wasn't. Those two grates over there were, the one right there, the rectangle one, was more the center of it. And this side right here is how they carry tea. So this whole side of the Sully wing is the oldest of what we would call the modern Louvre, the 16th century modern Louvre. This is what I love to do when it's still dark out. Look at that. So that is the Jean Goujon caryatides that gave the room its name, the Celtic caryatides, and I love them. And that was the musicians' balcony up above. They used to have musicians up there. And this was kind of the first full room created under Francois Premier. He had the King Charles of England had come over here and saw the medieval Louvre. It was like, really, this is your palace? Like, how embarrassing. And so Francois was like, we got to get this. We got to do a better job. And so he started to have this loop created. And this is the first room. And it was just a large room, a ballroom. And then over time, he died not that long after. And his son, Henry II, took it over. So he had, so this one was basically started with Francois Premier. And then Henry II did the mirrored copy of it on the right side. Those are doors that during World War II, when the Nazis wanted a place to put their looted art that they were stealing, the Jean Jordan, he let them use this part because they were able to pull their trucks in here to the door, but it was also his way of keeping an eye on them. And the Louvre at that point, of course, as we know, is pretty much empty. Look, you can see the blue on the other side. There was a few statues and things left, but they weren't really of a lot of importance. The ceiling had been changed also under Henry II, which you could see because of that farthest side is a deer with the emblem of Diana up between his antlers, which of course was the symbol of Diana, but Henry II also adopted it as his own, the crescent moon. And then those rooms up there were the winter apartments of Anne of Austria, the mother of Louis XIV. And they have these stunning ceilings all the way down on this whole side on the second American floor, first French floor, was the Musée Charles X. And of course, when you're king, you want to have something, put your name on it, everything you could find. And so that was like the antiquities, the Roman and the Greek antiquities. And it still has a lot of that in there. They kind of are constantly a work in progress. And so a lot of the cases there are empty or they have things in it and they're not labeled yet because they keep redoing them. But look at that. Isn't she lovely? You have all the marble in there. Peek in this window. And this, if you go in here and go to the right here a little bit and then take a left, you're at Venus de Milo. Venus de Milo. Look at that. So pretty. My love. Be here tomorrow morning, of course. I discovered a new little section this morning that they've added a bunch of Egyptian like death masks and these painted panels that they put in mummies that were amazing. They were so beautiful. Look at that. There's Athena. I think somebody's in there going, who's this weirdo in the window? So she is on the opposite side of Venus. So we go all the way down to the right. That's where Venus is. And then I also went down to the Islamic art. That is a section of the Louvre that very few people go to. Most people, if they are down there, they're lost. But there are the most stunning examples of tiles from the Middle East down there, going back hundreds and hundreds of years. Absolutely gorgeous. So I want to spend more time in there and then do some research, and I'll share that with all of you guys. You see some blue coming? It's a gigantic, there's always a tour around this time of the day. I think it's Spanish. It's a group of like It's a little windy. Hopefully you guys could hear okay. But look at that. That is also beloved Institut de France. Oh, that's a lot of blue there. We have one more we're going to see today too. Since it's just the start of your day, especially on the West Coast. Oh, I guess since I'm standing here, I could just see if there's any exciting messages. I mean, oh, thanks, Chrissy. I do love it. I love it so much. So a friend of mine in Paris yesterday was like, do you think you'd get married again? And I was like, nope. I was like, no. I was like, if I could marry the Louvre, that's probably what I would marry. But I was like, no. And I specifically said, I spent so much time in the Louvre. I think if I was married, unless they also loved it, and also I take people in there, of course, on tours, and I showed friends around. But when I go in there by myself, it's a whole different thing. Like I will spend, 2 hours in one room doing research and looking things up and making a million notes and photos. It's like nobody would want to do that with me, and then I'd feel that. But I was like, no. So here we are on the always beloved Pont des Arts, which is in badly the socks. I don't know what's going on there. Need of repair because they keep just adding these little patches here, and then they start to lift because they're also just wood. And in the fall, I mean, there was one piece, the end of the board right here was sitting up like 3 inches. Somebody was bound to fall. Can you see? She looks a little blue too. I don't think I could zoom in. Oops. What happened? Oh. The Eiffel Tower is also blue. So there was even an article in the French newspaper a couple weeks ago about it. Like, when are they going to fix it? Although I would be sad if it was closed and we couldn't walk across it. Or maybe they could do one side at a time, but these middle pieces are pretty big. Gotta go over this side. So it does really need to get done because it's just gonna get worse. Look at that. The lovely Ile de la Cité. You have Samaritain. I wonder if Hotel de Ville's blue. I bet Hotel de Ville's blue too. But look at that. That's very blue. So nice. The Eiffel Tower is definitely blue. I don't know. You guys can really see that, and I can't see. But I love it being here in the winter because you just get to see parts of buildings you don't normally get to see. And if you guys, I posted a video I made yesterday from the Basilique Saint-Clotilde, which is a beautiful church. The stained glass in that church is just amazing. And normally it's really hard to get a good picture of the facade of the church because when you stand back, you have all the trees, but right now they're bare, and also from the back. So it's really great to get things in the winter. And also it's 60 degrees. It's like 50, 53 right now. So of course I brought boots, sweaters, wool socks. I had to go out and buy some new socks. And I was glad I also brought my Stan Smiths. But look at that. And so it's all good. These are going to be lit up blue for a week. And Macron said the last time France was in charge of the EU. But I remember the Eiffel Tower being blue before. Look at how blue this is. And because the UK is no longer part of the EU now, it shifted everything. So France got their turn a tiny bit faster. So this is the Institute de France. And that beautiful dome. I mean, it is, this one is very blue. And of course, that was first started under Cardinal Mazarin, and it was the College of the Four Nations. It had 20 students from 4 countries, and that was it. And it was created after he died. So he left a bunch of money and then had them create this. That little corner over there is where the Bibliothèque Mazarin is. And it's a lovely, amazing library. And you could go in there, you could buy a pass. It's like 15 euros for the year. You could go in there anytime. It's open, of course. It has one of the oldest collections outside the Bibliothèque Nationale. And then this used to be the little pass through, used to be where that window is there on the corner. And then they filled it in, created the last thing I need, another bookshop. And every time I find something in here to buy, and there's something in the window I want, so I'm gonna have to come in another day, because they so smartly put all these little things. Look at Jess. And they keep changing these windows like every couple days. It's turkeys, because they know I'm gonna walk by and find more things. But they have this amazing, I need this right there. And so we have one more blue building to see. And up here, I'm so happy to show you that Jean-Charles Casablanca put back. I think we showed this to you guys a few weeks ago. Look at that. For Louis, and it says, love Louis. He said this was the 3rd time he's put it back. And I love that. And yesterday I found another one on my way to the Basilique that he also did on the Liberation plaque. So I'm going to find all of those. And I actually sent him a message and said, every time you post those, tell me, and I will do the research on the story of who they are. But I love him. He's so awesome. Every time I share his pictures, he always sends me a message. I want to ask him to do one for my grandma sometime. But he will go and put them up for loved ones, people he knows, people that passed away. And of course, that building straight over there is the building that is normally covered with the amazing ivy. It changes colors and gets all red and gorgeous in the fall. Now there's no leaves, but this is the park that in a few months will be covered with gigantic pink puffs of blossoms. So this little corner ends up being during the fall and spring. One of the best places to be. And of course, you get this. Look at the blue on that side. Cool. This is the Bleu Mazarine. Which I always love to walk down. Here is where Moliere's troupe once was. Napoleon lived up here too. This is where he lived when he deciphered the Rosetta Stone, which was 200 years ago this year. This is also where the Pompiers were created. God bless them. Take my mask down for a minute. But New Year's was it was kind of strange because it was very quiet. The Champs-Élysées, I was there from about 6:30 to 8:30, and the streets were closed off the streets. There was police and military everywhere, and there's still tons of people. And my clients went down onto the street at midnight and said it was really fun, and it was just filled with people. So they still went, even though there was no light show. And they did not make Arc de Triomphe blue that night, but everything else had already turned blue, all the other buildings, Notre Dame. So I will try to get down to all those places the next few days and get at least some photos for you guys. I put it, make sure you follow me on my Instagram, Claudine Bleu Blanc Rouge. And I will post lots of them. And of course, if you want to send me a little tip so I could go buy some wine right after this is over, you could send it to my PayPal. Oh, well, maybe I should pause there for a second. Those are naked lady pictures. My PayPal or my Venmo, which is Claudine at ClaudineHemingway.com. In this building coming up here, we are still on Rue Mazarine. It's going to change again in a bit. But this building up here on the right is where the designer, oh, hey, in case you guys need to look at that. Hello. It's always fun to look at all those. This is where Jean Levin, the designer who created the oldest design house in the world, still in existence. And she is the one that did everything before that other designer. Its logos have C's on them, but doesn't get any of the credit. She was born here. She was one of like 10 children. She was the oldest. At 12, she had to start work. Going to work. The dog just ran onto my knee. Oopsie. This is the ramen place that has a line day and night. And I stayed right above that window twice. Pardon. Twice. And I don't recommend it. It's just a little loud. Like my window is literally right above it. So we will head up a ways here to see the other blue building. And this, so that ramen place, it's been here for a while. But since 2000, Tons of other Asian restaurants popped up over here, I think because they were so busy. So there's a couple sushi ones. He also has some Christmas lights for you guys. The ones on the street will still be here in a month. Those great trees. I keep seeing Christmas trees just kind of dumped on the side of the street. And then of course we have the always wonderful My Street. Bleu. You guys catch that guy sneezing on camera without a mask. That's always a pleasant thought. So there's that little, they make the most wonderful little desserts. And then there's the naked burger. Yesterday, pretty much everything was closed unless you were in a touristy area. So it took a bit to find a place that was open to get a café et croissant. Cool. You all know, you guys all know where I'm headed. I'm sure you do, but that's not the building lit up. My favorite place is not lit in blue, although it does have blue lines. But you can start to see a little blue. Can you see it? The Théâtre de l'Odéon. It's also all lit up. So we'll make our way up there. What time is it? 6. Sylvain will be back to work here in a bit, and Oscar. So I'll take you up there to the theater and then pop in, see the boys, which Sylvain in the moment always gets shy. But then whenever he's making me some delicious thing that he lights on fire, I always have to take videos and send it to him. So he does love it in the moment. Should I do this? Okay, hang on, guys. Oh, there's Mont Sylvain right now. See, now he didn't like it. And look at, so this is, yay. They're not open for dinner yet. But I don't know if you guys have seen this anywhere else yet. But look at Ibu. I know how much many of you love Ibu. I went there yesterday because I love their paillard de poulet. And it was not good. It was like dry. Look at those little gondolas. You could reserve them, but you have to have 4 people. But it was not good. It was super dry. And I asked for haricot vert, and they brought me French fries. And And when I told them I ordered Eric there, she argued with me. So it's a good place to go for apero, but that's about it. The servers are always very surly. So this, of course, is the Lodion. And around the corner on Rue Jupiter on November 19th, 1919. I love that that's the date. So that used to be her shop there on the right side. It's now a clothing store, and the guy shares those things of that period of time all the time, which is kind of interesting. And then up here at number 18 is where Sylvia and Adrian lived, and where she died. They both died. And up there at the very top is where my friend lives on this building. Look at this. How pretty is that? It's all blue. It's windy, but it's not super cold. Oh, sorry. Some more people jumping in. Welcome, welcome. If you're just joining, it is recorded and I will post it later on my YouTube. So make sure to find my YouTube Claudine Bleu Blanc Rouge channel, where there's about 40 or so past walks on there, as well as a whole bunch of other videos that we made to go along with the podcast. And the podcast, if you guys don't know, I do, is called Paris History of a Hemingway. It's on the Levy Creative podcast that I do with Crystal. So every Monday is a new episode about something in French history. Tomorrow, I'm really excited because tomorrow is January 3rd. And that is the feast day at Saint-Geneviève. She died on that day. And we did a special 2-part episode because I had so much information on her. We did it in 2 parts. So the first one comes out tomorrow. And then I'm also going to make some videos up there at Saint Etienne de Mont and the Pantheon this week to share. But this is the Place de l'Odéon right here. And this is the Théâtre de l'Odéon, all nice and blue. It played quite the episode in the Revolution, and also Sarah Bernhardt's life and the May of 1968 revolt. It's gone through a lot. And it's one of the largest theaters here on the left bank, on the Rive Gauche. And then right past that is the Jardin de Luxembourg, but of course right now it's closed. It closes at 4:30. So most of all the parks close before sunset. How great it would be to live right up there with all those windows. And this is this fantastic restaurant. And inside it has Jean Cocteau used to go there, and there's a drawing that he made that they use on the menus and everything else. And funny enough, there was an Italian restaurant in Portland, Oregon. One day I looked back on the wall and I was like, hey, wait a minute. That I'm just going through the comments. The Musée de Libération, I could see, I don't know, I could definitely do that in the spring. I could definitely have time to do that in the spring. Oh my gosh, that Celine Dion song everybody listens to. It's really funny here. Everybody's like, oh, Celine Dion. I'm like, In America, we're like, oh, Celine Dion. I mean, there's some things about her are great, but I shouldn't say that. My favorite is Neil Diamond. And some people laugh at me, but I love him. But there is this famous Celine Dion song, and anytime they play it at Comptoir, everybody starts screaming and singing along with it. So I will walk you guys back down here. We're looking through some of these cute little stores. Look at all that. Some nice silver. Look at those little ornaments. Can you see those? The little puppy dogs. I think I need that leopard. Candles. This is a great bookstore. He's got really, I have found some really cool old books about the Louvre in there, all in French. There is a couple American, or I should say English bookstores. There's the Red Wheelbarrow, which she just opened another shop just 2 doors down. And then there's the San Francisco book company, I think. It's right around the corner on the Monsieur de France. This always has kind of cute little jewelry. But we'll walk back down here and I'll let you guys have start out your first Sunday of 2022. Can you even believe it? Let's hope it's a little bit better. We don't want to jinx anything, but let's just hope. There was still some good moments we could all find in these years, hopefully. Just always easy to remember the bad things, I guess. It's a cute little tea place. Buy some fancy little tea. But this, of course, Old Lyon. So it's a lot of, it was once so literary, lots of publishers, everyone else around here. I once stayed in that building on my second trip here. I've stayed in this hotel one night. It's pretty cute. Hotel Odeon. And of course, this over here is the delicious Brez Cafe with the jambon truth. Oh, it's almost maybe a good time to go get it. The jambon truth galette is delicious. And you can get a little salad that has wasabi vinaigrette, and it is so delicious. It's not super wasabi, but it's very good. So look at that. Oh, pretty little Christmas tree. And my friend Eve comes back tomorrow. He's been down south where he lives. So I'll be happy to see Eve come to board, the chef and owner, the amazing. And then of course, I like Danielle, if you're watching, she posted, somebody was doing a live video today. And they ended right here. She said she was looking for my red coat. But there is him. So it's kind of busy. Let's look over here. So this is de la Mer. De la Mer. The other one is de la Terre. I don't know where Oscar is. But as the loud siren is going, I'll let you guys go. And thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to try to do a couple videos this week to hopefully do live. The timing of the day just makes it so hard. But I will, if not, I'm doing tons of videos on here that I will share coming up as well. So I hope you join me. You can just always check out my Instagram and my Facebook. So there's Claudine Bleu Rouge on Instagram and then just Bleu Rouge on Facebook. So follow me there and updates. And then I also put all the events on my website too. So on ClaudineHemingway.com, look under events, and then you can see whatever my next walk is coming up. And next Sunday, it's going to be kind of fun because it is the 100th anniversary that Ernest and Hadley Hemingway moved into their apartment up there at Cardinal Lemoine. So I am going to take you on a little Hemingway walk, and I will do that next Sunday, same time. So if you want to send me a little tip, I would appreciate it greatly, and I'll go spend it right now on some wine. You can do that at Venmo or PayPal at Claudine Hemingway, or Claudine at ClaudineHemingway.com. Hopefully you could hear me, and I will. Let's see, I could try to put it in here in my notes. So thank you guys all so much for joining, and I hope to see you guys next Sunday and this week. And if there's something you guys are dying to see here in Paris and I could bring it to you, let me know, and I will try to get over there and at least make a video. I'm trying to talk and light at the same time, and I will post some videos of that for you and then share those with you guys. So it looks like I don't even know if I could see what I'm typing. So it is, I don't know if this is even okay. Everyone, let's see, Claudine at ClaudineHemingway.com on PayPal and Venmo. So I hope to see you guys all next Sunday and all this week on Instagram or on my Facebook. All right, thanks guys. I hope you had a wonderful New Year's. Happy New Year's. Bonne année.